talks to the people all night long, chatting and a gabbing and a singing her song. All the divas down on Rainbow Street love to hear Toni go tweet, tweet, tweet. Talking Toni, tweet, tweet, talk, talk, talking Toni. Tweet, tweet, oh, talking Toni, really gonna talk tonight.
Hello, welcome to Talking Toni. I'm Toni Holperm, the singing diva of Long Island. This is my show on Strong Island Television, where I get to talk to some of the many, many fabulous people all around the world, thanks to Zoom, because we can't do this in the studio. Joining me today, a very, very special guest. He is the writer and director of the critically acclaimed, multi-award winning film that is currently out in virtual cinemas, The Garden Left Behind, Mr. Flavio Alves. Hello, Flavio. Oh, what happened? Did we lose Flavio?
Yeah, I hate to say it, we lost him.
Oh no! He was here, and then we lost him. Well, unfortunately, this is the reality that we're dealing with these days because of having to use Zoom, and everyone is relying on the internet and their ISPs. So, what exactly should we do, Bobby?
I think he's going to be back any moment. So, you have anything you want to let everybody know that you're currently doing?
I just want to let everyone know, after today's program, I'm actually doing a double header. He's back.
Oh my, what happened?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness, like I lost Toni. How do you right now?
I did the most fabulous introduction of you, Flavio, and you're sitting there, and I'm thinking that you're listening, but I guess it was just the frame was frozen.
I don't know what happened, but I'm here. You know what?
You're here. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Well, as I was telling everyone, you are the writer and director of the critically acclaimed multi-award winning film, The Garden Left Behind. It's currently out in virtual cinemas, and starting September 8th will be on video on demand, I believe on iTunes. Where else is it going to be?
Oh my God, it's going to be iTunes, it's going to be on Amazon, it's going to be in Vudu. Oh my, I don't know. It's so many other places, that is going to be playing, but people can easily find it if they go to our website, The Garden Left Behind.
Garden Left Behind. Okay.
No?
Now, before we get into The Garden Left Behind, because there was a lot to discuss about it. You were so nice. You let me see a preview of the film, and I told you after I watched it, it was just an amazing film. It just grips you in so many different ways. I don't know if I have all the words to describe it, but before we get into that, Flavio, you are actually you received political asylum. You're originally from Brazil.
Yes.
And you came here to the United States and applied for and received political asylum. Can you tell us a little bit about what were the circumstances in Brazil and what brought you here to seek political asylum?
Well, I come to the U.S. in 1997 after I wrote a book in Brazil about my experiences as a gay man in the military, and
interesting.
Yeah, after that I was in jail for the day, and then they released me. Then I could not find work because that's how it works, and if you don't leave the armed forces in a good terms, you don't have an opportunity for jobs and anything else. Then I started facing threats. Then I came to the U.S. But I thought I would come here I would stay here just for a while, just to wait things calm down. But I then realized that I could not return because they took my passport away from me. So I was a stateless person. So I went to the United Nations, and I was then they gave me, they call refugee travel document. And still at that point, I did not have a refugee status. Just have a paper that I could go to other places. And then I applied for my asylum, and then took about a year. So in 1998, and it was approved. So I was one of the first gays to apply based on that ground, based on sexual orientation. But also it was a combination of political opinion because I wrote the book, and also my sexual orientation was both.
And you actually, for a time, worked for Senator Hillary Clinton.
Yes. Yes, I was her assistant when she was.
Oh.
She was then a senator,
right.
U.S. senator in New York. So yes, and also I worked for Anthony Weiner, the Congressman Anthony Weiner.
Okay.
Which is a good friend. And it was a great experience, but it had some kind of limitations on how much I could do in politics. And then I took a few classes in film while I was in school. My major was political science.
Right.
I took a few classes in film, and then I realized that it didn't take much to realize that was my passion. I was working politics, but sooner or later that would happen, that I would switch to film. But it was interesting because I found lots of parallels between politics.
I was going to say, I'm sure there's a lot of screenwriting and acting going on in politics, as there is in film.
Yeah, thank you. But also in terms of, I think in politics I learned a lot how the world function, and now as a foreigner, it was a great opportunity to see how society function, here in America, and but also there are other things that was very interesting that helped me a lot along the way as a filmmaker, which is a fundraising strategy, because in politics that's what we do.
Yes,
you have to be very good in fundraising. And
I know I'm getting emails from Joe Biden like every day.
You're gonna keep getting more and more.
And I'm sure he's personally sending them to me. I'm convinced.
And by the way, don't forget, send something to this man, because this man,
yes,
this man had to, he has to get there, to that chair, and so I'm helping him. Yes, and so I'm very excited to be supporting him, and yeah,
as am I. Political science, and then you switch to wanting to learn about filmmaking. That's even though, like as you say, there's a lot of parallels. There's still got to be that's still sort of quite a jump, because politics is we're dealing with the real world, and in filmmaking it's the you're creating worms.
Well, but you still have to engage people.
True. Yes,
a
true.
politician, a filmmaker. I'm doing it now, because the film is done now. Now I have to get people out of their homes to, not now because of COVID, but I have to push them to actually go online and pay $10 to watch our film online. And this is you have to engage people. And,
yes, very
so
true.
I see you can't escape it. Those two, they pretty much do the same thing, and I just think that I have more freedom with film, because in politics there are so much you can do, but with film, every film is different. So it gives me a fresh air every time I move from one subject to the next, and so I have to engage different communities. So I have to it's different crew and a cast for the most part, although the main people, we keep the main people, but for the most part we have new faces and new communities, and yeah, but it's very exciting.
Of course. And let me ask you, Flavio, one of your first films, I was, because whenever I'm having somebody on, I've got to be like, that girl on Facebook who wants to know about a guy. It's like, oh, what's his favorite restaurant? Oh, what sports team does he like? One of your earlier films, it was, which was it? Tom in America with Burt Young and Sally Kirkland.
Yeah.
Amazing actors. What was that like working with them?
I love working with all kinds of people, and working Sally and Bert, they brought so much to the film, and the experiences as actors, and but also, to be honest, we have those stars also because they bring some value to the picture, and
right.
And now that's the reality, and they helped sell, with their images, sell the film, and it was good work with them. And then I couldn't expect more from my actors, and they helped a lot to push the film when the film was out, and it helps when you have a good team behind you,
Of course. Yes. Another film that you worked on, The Secret Friend. What can you tell me about that movie?
Oh my God, Secret Friend was the film that launched my career, basically.
Because
because The Secret Friend was about this lonely lady who had no one to talk to, and you could tell that she was very depressed at home, alone, nobody to talk to, and then the phone started ringing every day at 3 p.m. But the person on the other side never said a word. So in the beginning, she was annoyed by that, but that person, without saying a word, became her best friend. Called The Secret Friend, But there is a little, and this guy, for some reason, stopped calling her. I don't want to say much because I want people to see the film. But there's something in the end that's going to do that's going to surprise everyone. And the beauty of humanity, and the film was very popular. As you said, the film was everywhere. We played into over 100 festivals, I think. Was the PBS? It was incredible experience working with Viola Harris, which was the main character. All my cast and the crew was just like incredible, and that film launched my career. And again, it's not because I don't do only LGBT films, and I do have a lot of LGBT films, but I do all kinds of films, all kinds of stories that can touch my heart, and, different ways. I'm always excited to take that story to the mainstream and show other people, and
That's very, very interesting. Now, did you only direct or did you write either of Secret Friend and Tom in America?
Actually, it was based on a short story. The Secret Friend was based on a short story by a very famous Brazilian writer.
Oh, okay.
I contacted him, and then he allowed me to do a film based on his story. It was based on his short story, So I wrote it, But for the most part, I usually work with another screenwriter. For example, The God Left Behind, my new film, I work with John Rotondo, who is my co-writer, and we work together on this film. And for Tom in America, I had Jeffrey Solomon. So I'm always teaming up with other writers. To first of all, it's good to have different take. But also a lot with dialogue, since I'm a foreigner, and it's always good to have someone else like with helping to enhance the lines and the story,
Of course, of course. Now, speaking of The Garden Left Behind, as I was saying, you were so kind to send me a preview link to watch the film. I was all set to come into this not knowing anything except the press and from the trailer and all, but you were so nice. You sent me that preview link. I was able to watch the entire film, and of course, I have to ask you, what inspired you? Because this film, you are one of the co-writers of the story, and this is an original story, correct?
Yes, it is, but it was based on testimonies of over 100 trans men and trans women who shared their stories with us, and yeah, and those stories inspired us to tell the Garla behind. Again, it was all based on it. We came to, when we start work on it, we didn't know where that research would take us. So and so it took different turns. But again, it was all based on those testimonies and what we heard from the community,
and what was like the impetus for you to seek out those testimonies, at the start?
Well, every time I make a film, I'm thinking, like, ask the same question to myself, what kind of social impact am I expecting my film to have, and as a gay man myself, I'm Latino, so I do understand what it means to be an outsider. So, and today I'm glad that I'm in a position to have that kind of impact on, not only by telling stories that reflect my personal experience as a gay man, as a Latino, but also telling stories of people who, don't often see themselves on the big screen, and that's what I intended to do, with this film, and just like any other films, that I make, and the social impact is always my mind, and I was trying to find something that would help to make the lives of other people better.
Well, I definitely feel that you succeeded in doing that with this film, and there are always those big budget motion pictures, things like the Avengers and those type of movies. But for me personally, there's something about these small, I don't know if this is the right way to say it, but the small quiet movies, but they have a message that speaks so loudly that they remain with you, and to me that's what the Garden Left Behind is. It's one of those movies that I'll never forget it. It's one of those movies that I will always remember. It's like those big blockbuster type of movies. They're great for like a Friday night and you have your popcorn and whatever.
I love that because I see that all the time. I love to see those car crashes.
Of course,
but I also need some good stories too. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, but the story of the Garden Left Behind is just so important. I hear a lot of people who have been speaking about it saying how important it is right now, especially today. And one of the things, as I was on Facebook today, because it's a story about a transgender woman, but really it's a human story. The fact that she's transgender it's just part of who she is, the main character Tina. When as we see her, she's working as an Uber driver, she's taking care of her grandmother, she's just an ordinary person just trying to.
But that was, something. I'm glad that you touched that subject, because we tried to make a film that people can sympathize with her.
Yes.
As human, she is a woman sitting in a bus next to you. That's how we try to present her in the film. There are no stereotypes or her being like a hairdresser or sex worker or anything. Nothing wrong with that, I don't think. But just we try to find something that's very unique that makes her more human. And for example, her relationship with the grandma.
Yes, and that
and that relationship is the backbone of this story. And how much they loved each other, but also how much they misunderstood each other. So it was very important for us to show that, that there is love, but also there are some misunderstandings, between them, and that. So just we. But again, it was all based on those testimonies, and we try to avoid stereotypes, and we try to tell a story of a woman, a woman that was just trying to move forward with her life, and that's our goal.
Right. Yeah, and as I was saying, like on Facebook today, I'm seeing a transgender woman was found dead in Orchard Beach in the Bronx on Monday. They don't know if she was, the victim of foul play. In the Philippines, a U.S. Marine who had killed a transgender woman is just being released, and the violence towards transgender women is just it's unfathomable. It really is.
Especially for trans women of color. No.
Yes, especially for trans women of color.
We are on the track, and this year it's so insane. It's crazy because we are on the track to become the most violent year for against trans women, especially trans women of color. So something has to be done. And that's why this film is so important. So timely, And I know that sometimes people think like, well, and I get those questions a lot. People always asking me, why did you make a film the way we made? We talk a lot about violence, as you know. I don't want to give away. No,
we're not going to spoil anything. We're not going to spoil anything.
But a lot of people come to me and ask the same question: why did you decide to do it? And why not make more uplifting, stories? And the questions, the answer is always the same. And I'm an activist, and. And I believe that sometimes shining a light on a specific issue is the first step toward affecting change. I knew from the very beginning that this story that we told would trigger emotional response, and it did.
Oh, absolutely.
But that's what we did that for a reason, because we want people to be upset, because that's how John and I felt by doing this research, work closely with the trans community. And we learned so much about their specific needs and the struggles and how they have to deal with, on the top of that, with violence, with so many things that now affects them, lack of employment, access to education, and jobs, and opportunities in general, and on top of that, we have the violence,
Yes.
So that's why we made this film. So I don't regret that, and now we see all those things happening now, which is very sad now. And when we see those staggering numbers of people dying now and being killed, and people are killing dreams, and now we get and
I know it's very sad. And a few weeks ago, I had a guest on. Her name is Jessie Gender, and she's a YouTube personality. She's a trans activist, but also does a lot of videos about Star Trek and sci-fi and things. But she'll touch on real events in her life. And she was saying in one of her videos how she was just at the mall. It was just trying to shop at the mall, and this person just started pointing at her and yelling, "That's a man! That's a man!" And to hear this in this video, my heart broke for her. It was like, what was she doing? She wasn't doing anything to this person. She was just trying to live an ordinary, normal life, and this this horrible transphobic person is yelling, "That's a man," and embarrassing her. I mean, I give her credit. She took it back, and she empowered herself. But not everyone is that strong, and there are trans people that that crushes them inside.
Yeah, and but also the trans experience is different for everyone,
Of course, yes.
And that's why actually this is something that you are saying is interesting, because that's why actually why we are doing the interview with the trans community. We realize that not everyone is on the same page, and that's why Tina, she's more like in the back seat as opposed to the other girls who pushed her to become an activist.
Right.
Tina was kind of resistant, So, and we tried with that scene. We tried to show that not every trans woman or trans man they engage in activism, but just for being who they are, it seems to be like a natural thing, right? And for most of them, it's real because it's a matter of survival, and they do things because they want to protect themselves, and they think that if they are together as a group, they are stronger, But not everyone, not every trans man and trans woman, are as active as the other girls in the gal left behind, And I'm so glad to see like Tina in the movie. She became an activist, And but it's sad that there are so much social stigma and there are so much misunderstanding surrounding the transgender issues.
Yes.
But that's the reason why I made this film.
Yes. Yes, and I can't tell everyone enough. You have to see this film. Especially if you're an ally or a supporter of the LGBTQ plus community. It's an important film, and I think this film, Flavio, I think this is going to be as far as LGBTQ plus cinema goes, I really think this is going to, be considered one of the classics and hallmarks, in that.
Oh, thank you so much. And by the way, the Rotten Tomatoes just named the film "The Girl Left Behind" is one of the 200 top LGBT films of all time. And we are number 39. We are number 39.
Wow.
Yes, we are ahead of so many other major films, and we had nothing to do with the decision, but we are so glad to be,
of course,
included on that list. We are number 39 out of 200. It's so incredible.
That's amazing. I mean, especially because the film really is so new. I mean, that's incredible, and I mean, because there's certainly a lot of films in that category. I mean, going all the way back to like the Boys in the Band and
yes.
things like that, which actually is. I just saw there's a remake of that's going to be on Netflix.
Yes.
At the end of this month. But it really speaks volumes that The Garden Left Behind has placed so high, and it's really a very new film, which again, you got to see this film. You must see this film. I am commanding all of you watching. You must see this film.
Yes, and everyone should watch this film. Again, you don't have to be a trans or LGBT and a member of the LGBT community. Anyone can watch this film because anyone will find something relatable. And but I also advise people to have a box of Kleenex next to them.
Yes,
because this film,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it's a powerful film. It really is, and it just I was like sobbing at the end. I was a mess. Thank goodness, I had waterproof mascara on, so I didn't turn into a raccoon. But but it really is such a powerful film. I can't wait because I watched it on my little iPad, and my husband didn't get to see it. So as soon as it comes on Amazon, then I can watch it with the Roku on like my big screen TV. So I can't wait to enjoy it, like that. So because I told him I said as soon as it comes on Amazon, you got to sit down with me and you have to watch it. He's like, oh yeah, he's like, I can't wait to see it. So we cannot wait. So what we're gonna do though right now, Flavio, is we're gonna take just a very, very quick break for the sponsors. We'll be right back after these words with more of Flavio Alves, the writer and director of The Garden Left Behind. We will be right back after these messages. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Talking Toni. I'm Toni Holmberg, the singing diva of Long Island. Joining me today, the writer and director of the hit film that is out in virtual cinemas right now, Flavio Alves, writer and director of The Garden Left Behind. Welcome back, Flavio.
Yeah, it's nice to be here again.
Thank you. We were talking before we went to break about some of the award that you said that or the ranking of The Garden Left Behind. What was that for?
What do you mean?
You said it was number 39 in the
Rotten Tomatoes. Number 39 on Rotten Tomatoes.
On Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes.
Oh, for an LGBTQ film category?
All time. Yeah.
Of all time. Wow. That's amazing. But there have been a lot of other awards that the film has won. I've got them written down here. Let's see. SXSW, the Audience Award winner. Nashville Film Festival, Grand Jury Prize, New Directors Feature, Hamburg International LGBTQ Film Festival, Bentonville Film Festival, Best of the Fest Award, Boston LGBT Film Festival, Best Narrative, Woodstock Film Festival, Best Editing, Seattle Transgender Film Festival, Best Narrative Feature, North Carolina Gay and Lesbian Film Festival, Best Drama Feature, Florence Queer Festival, Best Narrative, and Fargo Film Festival, the Ruth Landfield Award. I'm not sure what award that is, but a lot of awards. Flavio, how does it feel, to see the film, getting this critical acclaim?
I love the validation. This is actually helps us a lot, to move forward. Because I have been working with him for 6 years. So we don't know how it's going to turn out. We don't know how the press going to receive it. We don't know how the festival is going to take it. The audience. We don't know. We don't have control.
Right.
The one thing that I have control is trying to make the best possible film. And then once you put it out there, it's completely up to the audience. It's completely up to the film critics, the festivals, and to embrace it. So I don't have control. So I'm very happy that we are right now 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. We are 96% audience on Rotten Tomatoes. So again, the film is doing phenomenal. It's doing so well. We are very happy with the results. But it's I don't know how we got there.
Well, it's a beautiful film, and that's why. And you can see everyone involved gave like 110%. Really, you can. There's actually two very well-known stars in The Garden Left Behind. You have Ed Asner and Michael Madsen. Yeah. Tell me, how did that come to be to get these well-known actors involved in this project?
Well, we wrote the script, and then we sent to our casting director, who sent to different actors. We at one point we had interest from other actors who wanted to work with us, but or problems with schedule, or just because we shot in New York, they happened to be in LA or out of country, and we could not have them. But we had so many other actors who loved to be part of it, like Matt Broderick, for example. So many others, who showed interest. It's just that didn't work with that schedule, but and then Ed Asner, who he read the script and he called me and said, like, I want to be in this film.
Wow.
Timing and so important a story, and I want to be part of it, And then for me, it's just it's incredible to have an actor like him, calling you and say, like, I want to work with you, And how often,
of course,
and sometimes I have to fight to get convince someone to be part of your film. And here is this, incredible actor, with 5-time Emmy winner, and
right,
calling you and say, I want to be in your film. I want to work with you. So it was great. He came, from LA, and he spent 2 days with us. We shot his scenes, and It was great experience work with not only him but also with Michael Madsen.
Oh, and let me tell you, I had such a crush on Michael Madsen.
Oh my goodness!
Let me tell you,
Michael Madsen. We all have.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness, Michael Madsen. What and still such a handsome man.
Yeah, he's and he was very kind. Even like now, he's promoting the films now and going out of his way. Both of them, Michael and Ed, they have been supporting the film so much because they know the film is coming out now and they know how important it is for them to stand behind the film.
Mm-hmm.
So we are very grateful, that we have those two amazing actors, and also have Danny Flaherty, who's he appeals more to the young crowd.
Mm-hmm.
He's also an amazing actor. We have Miriam Cruz, the grandmom.
Yes, she was amazing. She was so amazing.
So good. And then we have all girls.
Yes.
All girls, and Carly is the lead.
Yes. And an important fact, Flavio, is that the trans characters were all portrayed by trans actors.
Yes. Now this is something that we fought a lot to
mm-hmm.
And that was like a before pose, because we shot this film 2016, 4 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, it was before pose, and so at that point was something like very unique. Now we see so many other films doing the same, and we want to see that because we want the trans community to have an opportunity. If you can't see it, you can't beat it. So
right. Actually, just recently, Halle Berry was supposed to be doing a movie where she was going to play a trans man. And she, there was, a lot of furor in the especially amongst the trans community when they saw that, Halle Berry was going to play a trans man, and Halle Berry, dropped out of the project, and she like apologized, for like even, sort of considering taking on, doing something like that.
Yeah, we have to have more opportunities to the trans community now, and. And there are so many amazing talents out there, and for our film, we brought a lot of people who never had for example, our lead, Carly, that was her first time in front of a camera, so she never acted before, so we discovered a lot of new talents, and we can't wait to see them playing in major films and TV shows. And we have actually Tamara Williams and Kristen Parker. Both of them actually played parts in Pose. And so it's good that we are open doors to create opportunities to the trans community now. And I really hope that I will see more of them actually playing other films or other TV shows and across the country.
Right. I mean, these days you couldn't imagine like, a non-Asian person playing an Asian character, or a Pacific Islander character not being played by somebody from the Pacific Islands. So therefore, when you have a transgender character, why would you not have them played by a transgender actor? It doesn't make any sense.
And also have to create opportunities for them to play cis role as well, because some of them are actually thirsty because they don't want to be placed in a box,
Sure, absolutely.
They want to be able to actually play other roles outside that too, as well, So, and although I understand sometimes that there are parts that other productions they decide when they go to cast cis actors for trans roles, but my fight with my argument that I have is that for them it's just like if you want to cast a cis person to play a trans role, you have to make sure that production also have trans actors playing cis roles as well, because then we create a balance, because I don't want also to be hypocrites saying like, oh no, but a trans person should a trans role should only go to trans person. I'm also advocating for them trans people to also play cis roles, you know.
Of course,
then,
yes.
you know, it's this person could say like, "Wow, but they are playing my role," you know. So I think it's all about opportunities. You know, what's happening right now and what's happened in the past is because they have denied, you know, opportunities. You know, so it's all about opportunities. You know, if I see them having an opportunity to play other roles rather than trans roles, and I'll be very happy with it. You know, I think the studios have the power to do it. You know, they and they depend that for their own survival. You know, the world is changing. You know,
absolutely, yeah.
And, we need new stories. We need we have to bring new talents to the table, and I also have to expand. You know, our views. You know, our thinking in terms of what certain characters could be, you know. So, and the studios have a role on that. They can do it, you know. If I, as an independent filmmaker, did it, other studios can do that as well, you know.
Right. That's so true, very true. And let me ask you, the lead role of Tina, so beautifully portrayed by Carly Guevara. As you were saying, Carly had never done anything in front of the camera before. How, you know, what was it like trying to find the right person to bring Carly to life?
Was a challenge, you know, because you don't use the traditional way of casting, you know, calling a casting director, and then all of a sudden you have all kinds of people line up for auditions, you know, and it doesn't work like that. So, and there are very few trans actors, you know, again, because they have not been given opportunities, you know, so we have very few trans actors in the market. And we put a casting call in many trans organizations, and then and asked them to come and for auditions, you know, and I have to thank my producer, and now she's trans woman, and Kristen Parker Lovell. And Kristen went out of her way to bring all those people for auditions, and that's how I found Tina, but also the other girls as well. You know, they came for auditions, and I interviewed them because also it helped a lot to their stories to shape the story of Tina. But also they played those roles, you know, so it was incredible, you know.
Yes. I also want to ask you, I'm trying not to, you know, spoil things for people who haven't seen the movie, but the character of Chris, played by Anthony Abdo. It's like, I tell you, he did an amazing job, because watching him in the film, I was very unsure of where he stood, what was going on, like in his mind, and it was like, you know, like the pivotal scene that we won't talk about. I didn't know which way he was going to go. You know, he could have gone one way or the other, like what I was seeing from him, and it was like, until you actually see what happens, it's like I was mystified. I did not know what he was going to do. I really didn't do it. But I want to ask, was there anything to his character? I mean, this is what I got, was that perhaps Chris may have been you know, secretly felt that he was, you know, trans, or, you know, there was some, you know, self-internalized things going on. I at least that's what I inferred. I mean, was that meant to be, or?
Well, you know, like that's how I see, especially my films. You know, for me, I see filmmaking just like when you see the like a film, you know, and for me, just like I see this little window, like a little window where I give it to you 30% of the information that you need to go out and create your own story in your mind, right? So instead of giving everything to you, I gave my audience an assignment, so that it's a good way to engage them. Because if everything is said about every character having a film, so So there is nothing else to engage you.
True.
You know. So I want to. I'll give it to you like few questions as well. You know, because I want to, when you leave the theater, I want you to be questioning yourself. You know, why did you do this? Why did you do that? You know,
that's what happened to me after I saw the film.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I think
wait a minute.
You know, there's a problem because you know this question I will respond this question different way if I was like in a festival, for example, in a Q&A at festival, because then everyone had seen the film, right? So I could get in depth, you know, and explain to people how I felt and how it was important for me to have that character in a film, and to be very ambiguous, you know. So I'm kind of a little, because I want your audience to watch the film without knowing anything about that character.
Right.
But one thing I have to tell you is that just to respond to your question is there are a lot of things that I try to do with that character. Again, I didn't answer questions. For example, was he in love with her? Was he dealing with his own gender identity? Was he looking for validation, or was it the peer pressure? And all those things are questions that you know. All those things are valid points. Depends on how you see it. But you can actually go back to it, because this is the type of film that if you send 10 times, you're gonna find other things to actually help you to respond. You know, the question that you are having. You know, because we try to have things in different ways. And we drop things, little things. You know, the bathroom scene with him, without saying much. You know, that's
yes.
You know, that scene. But also what he does with his hair, right? And without saying much, I don't want to say much. And also things that he does when he throws his cell phone against the wall because he could not get hold of Tina. All those things shows a little bit of microaggression, sort of. But also shows that he was struggling with something.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Could be his own gender identity, you know, issues, you know. So anyway, so I try to be. I want my audience to have that as an assignment. You know, I want to spark a debate with that character. But one thing that I always ask people is not to vilify that character, because we created him as a society. So it's very sad, but there are a lot of creases out there, you know, and that's why we have so much things happening, you know, and so anyway, I don't want to say much because I want your audience to go and see the film.
Yes.
It was good what I said here, just to make them excited, like, oh my God, what's going on with this character?
I know. Well, I hope that, you know, everyone watching, listening to us talk about these things is intrigued to want to know, you know, what happens in this film, and you know, and you know, like I said, we're not gonna spoil it, but you have to see it, and like, as you said, when I was finished watching the film, it was like I had still these questions. I'm like, but wait, what? You know, I was just like thinking things were gonna go one way, and then it was like, bam, went completely the other direction, and I was just like, I was like, my jaw like really hit the floor. And normally I'm not very surprised with most films these days. It's like my husband and I, we watch a lot of mystery stuff, and it's like, and I'll stop something. I'll say, okay, you know what? This character is like that person's, like they were the one that they left behind in the other country, and they did this and that, and he's like, no, you're crazy. And I'm like, okay, you watch me, and then we keep watching, and sure enough, that's exactly what it was. And so, but with The Garden Left Behind, I was very surprised. It you know, caught me completely off guard.
Yeah, because she just had another problem before with her former boyfriend. And then and everyone thinks like, oh, this film is going to that direction. All of a sudden, take like another direction. And but you know, but this is all about misguiding the audience, because we don't want them to be ahead now of the curve. We want them to be with us, but also to be shocked. Also,
yes,
because I want people to be disturbed by, because that's what I felt when John and I, you know, felt by doing this research, you know, and so. yeah, well, it's a call for action type of film. No,
Yes.
you watch this film, then it makes you think. Then you think like, wow, this is a very fragile community, and that's what I try to do with this film. But also get people angry people too, especially at the festivals. We got
oh really?
Oh my god, we have people like every time. Every festival is different, but we had some experiences going to, for example, Florida Film Festival. I think we got the most. We got a lot of people very angry at us, and yelling at us. Why did you do this? Yeah, it's as I said, I knew that the film would spark that kind of reaction. We knew that, but that's the reason why we made this film. And I'm so glad that John and I, when we had to, after heard so many trans men and trans women, and then we made the decision to take that step and then also with the support of the trans community because they have been with us through the process of making this film. They have been part of the table, a part of the discussion, and in helping to tell the story. So I'm very proud of the story that we told. But but some people took it personal, and sometimes we screened this film at the Transgender Film Festival in Seattle, and we saw people actually leaving.
Wow.
The screening room, but and then a lot of people, and a few people, not a lot, but a few people very angry. But something, and still people vote for our film as the best film of the festival because people also understood the importance of the film. Some people told me like I could not watch the ending.
I can understand.
But I know why you did it. I do know why you did it. So and even the people that were very angry at us, they some of them came to me and I said like, thanks so much for making this film. This is my story. That's what I go through every day. So it's but also the grandmom at the ending, she was she's a kind of a little because there is an arc with her character, right? Not accepting in the end, embracing Tina's identity, and her dream to go back to Mexico, and the definition of home for them are different, right? Because Tina wants to stay in America because she came when she was 5 years of age, and the grandma wants to go back to Mexico, because
I'm assuming that Mexico is the garden that was left.
But that's another thing. That's another that the window that I told you, the 30% I gave. But now you have to figure out what they mean by this garden left behind.
Oh, so there's layers.
Yeah, there are layers because could be Tina's body, could be the food, and what this whole thing represents to both of them. So. And that's the garden left behind, but again, I want my audience to, because a lot of people ask me, but why the garden? And then I answer with a question. Why do you think it's the garden represents in this film? And interesting enough, I have people saying different things that actually surprise me. It's so good when actually give assignments to people so that they can fill out the blanks. You don't give every answer to them, so they can actually help you to formulate their own ideas, and you force them to think. I think it's beautiful. The way we achieve it. Now it's not a perfect film, and still it's an independent film, but it's a film that forces you to think, to again, to see understand how vulnerable those lives are, and sometimes people have to step outside the comfort zone to understand other people. Try to put yourself in someone's shoes. That's what we try to do with this film, and I think we achieved it.
And I think even people who watch the film, it's going to. I think this is a kind of film that changes the person who watches it. It's not just it's not just a movie that you watch, because you give us these questions. I think even for myself, it's like you have to ponder things and think about, is that something that I ever thought, or that did I ever feel? And so it's that kind of a movie that it gets into your head, as well as your heart.
Yeah, and just like my producer told me this morning, and he said like, man, we made a history. We made a history now. And I'm very proud to have the best team work with me, and I work with my producer Roy Wall, and he's my superhero. He made so many things, possible in this film, and he fought so much to get this film done. And he's a straight cis man, and yeah,
well, we won't hold that against him too much.
No, we will not. But he is incredible how much he fought for this film, how much he embraced this story. So I have the best team, best cast, best crew, and very proud of it.
And do you have? I know you're planning on taking a well-deserved rest, because this has been a 6-year ongoing project for you. But after that rest, is there going to be more film?
Oh yeah, we have 3 other films in the pipeline, and but as I said, now I need to take a break. I need to take
of course
a month or two, and I don't know what I'm going to do now. Maybe I don't know. Drive from, because I'm between Florida and New York, but I think it should drive to like Montana, or to the West Coast, spend like a month just traveling, driving. I love driving, and I need to disconnect myself from the filmmaking, and I need to recharge my batteries.
Of course,
and, because it's a brutal process making a film. I don't know how many times I cried making this film, and for many reasons, and it's very tough business. It's very tough to engage people. I feel that just like it takes a village to make a film. You have to move mountains to get anything done in this business, especially if you don't come from money. And the way you made the film it's incredible. So so we're very glad that we're now in the very end, and the film is now can go on its own, we don't know, and I'm free to move to something else.
Yes, and of course, Flavio, if you ever need a singing drag queen for
please,
in one of your movies.
Yes, no actual auditions. You come straight, gonna work with us. Next film, I'm gonna find something for you. Promise.
I'm there. I will do. I will do it. I will do it. I would love to. I would be so honored, Flavio. I cannot tell you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
I don't care. I'll just, even if I have to just stand somewhere and of course look pretty,
Oh yes.
But I'd be happy. I'd be happy just with that.
It reminds me of the girls from the Hairspray.
Yes, right.
Yeah. I love it.
Well, unfortunately, Flavio, it's the end of the show. Like I told you, it's like the hour goes so fast. There were so many more things that I wanted to ask you, but we'll have to get that for like the next time that I have you back on. But in the meanwhile, the Garden Left Behind, please tell everyone where they can find out about it, where they can watch it.
Yes, they can go to thegardenleftbehind.com. Has all information about screenings, upcoming screenings. But as you said, on September the 8th, it's going to be
September 8th.
Vudu. It's going to be at Amazon. It's going to be available iTunes. It's going to be available in
most streaming platforms.
Yes. So anyone can watch it. But I think my favorite is always Amazon and Vudu and iTunes.
Mine too.
Very easy to connect and go there and
Mine
watch
too. I'm on Amazon. Will be on Amazon Fire, so we love Amazon.
Yes, Amazon is great, but iTunes and the Vudu, they are good too.
They're good
please
too.
Go there and watch the film, and everyone that's watching the film, if you can go also after watching the film, you can go to Rotten Tomatoes and also rate our film. Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb, and rate our films.
And rate the film. And actually, in 2 weeks' time, Flavio, having had you here on my show, we're going to have some of the cast from The Garden Left Behind. We're going to have Carly Guevara, Anthony Abdo, and Ivana Black are going to be my guests, and they're gonna maybe talk a little bit about you this time.
With all the dirty, they have so much dirty, you know. Don't worry.
There may be some tea spilled.
You can ask them because they
I will.
Yeah, they can ask them because they will tell you a lot of dirty on the set. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Flavio, thank you so much for joining me tonight. The Garden Left Behind, an amazing film. I cannot tell everyone enough. See this film. And of course, check out thegardenleftbehind.com. September 8th, it will be on every streaming platform, Amazon, iTunes, etc. And in 2 weeks' time, some of the cast of The Garden Left Behind will be my guest right here on Talking Tony. So again, Flavio, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And good night, everyone. And please, everyone, stay safe. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
She talks to the people all night long, chatting and a gabbing and a singing her song. All the divas down on Rainbow Street love to hear Toni go tweet, tweet, tweet. Talking Toni. Talking Toni. Oh, Talking Toni gonna talk tonight.